Hi guys, and welcome to my channel, Plant-Based Sweetheart. My name is Mary, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite, intermittent fasting. So if you're new to fasting and you have no idea what it is, let me give you a little brief. Fasting is not what you eat, but when you eat. It's the time you eat. So what does fasting do for you? So when you've fasted, your body goes into a fasting state and uses stored fat in your body to basically like feed itself. So in that sense, that's how you burn fat. You're in like burning fat mode, and that's how you lose weight because you're not putting anything in. It's using the stored fat in your body to let go of it. So that's one thing that happens during fasting state. And there are so many different styles of fasting. You have the OMAD, which is eating once a day. Basically, you fast for 24 hours and you eat for 1 hour. And then you have the 5-2, where you eat for 5 days, you eat normal as you would. And then you have your 2 days where you eat about 500 to 600 calories max. So you're gonna have like a cup of water and you're done for the day. Then you have 24. So you fast for 20 hours and then you have a 4-hour eating window. Then there's also the 16-8, my favorite, where you're fasting for 16 hours and then you have an 8-hour window of eating. For me, I find that 16-8 works so well because I don't go into like starvation mode, but I'm still losing weight because of it. It's helped me tremendously. If you're here from Starch Solution Group or you're trying to do Starch Solution, or if you don't know about it, let me tell you what it is. Dr. McDougall, who is a heart surgeon, created this program that is totally plant-based. And I believe there's a study, it's called the China study, him and another doctor have done. I might be off, but I'm pretty sure it's him, where they found that eating 50% starch and eating 50% non-starchy vegetables and eating anywhere from 5 to 10% fat, but not obviously processed fats like oils, more like nuts and seeds and avocado, really help you lose a lot of weight. You stay satiated while losing weight, which is amazing. It is very easy. It's a very simple program because you're eating very simple. But you know, if you've been used to fried, oily stuff, it's going to be a transition. I'm not gonna lie, but it's doable, I promise. So if you're from the Starch Solution Group or whatever, you've seen that he is against it because not that he doesn't believe that it doesn't work, that's not the problem. He just doesn't want people to be triggered for binge eating. And I honestly totally agree with him because from my experience, if I go past 20 hours, then I'm most likely going to binge because I'm so hungry and I want to just eat whatever I can get my hands on. And the reason why I bring up Starch Solution is because I am on the Starch Solution. I'm trying to make it my lifestyle. So when you share things in the groups, you learn things, and I learned that, you know, intermittent fasting is a no-go because you can lose weight without, you honestly don't have to do intermittent fasting. When you're doing Starch Solution, it is not necessary. However, for me, it's a tool. I like it, I love it, and I'm gonna continue doing it because that's what works for me. So touching on what Dr. McDougall said, that fasting can trigger binge eating, it is true. I've experienced it, like I said, and you just have to find your trigger hours. Meaning, okay, I do 16-8, so I fast for 16 hours and I eat for 8. However, sometimes I like to push it a little more. Why not? If I'm not hungry, why force myself to eat? So sometimes I'll go 18 hours and then I'm fine. And I find that if I go past 20, I'm in the danger zone. That's like my trigger. So you have to find out what your trigger is. If 16 hours is your trigger that you're binging, then this is not for you. But if you can make it to 16 and eat normal and feel okay, then you're golden. So then the next step for you would be, what is my trigger? So if you have a history of binging, then you want to tread lightly, try 17 hours and see how you feel. Write down what you feel. Like, oh, I felt this way, maybe if that way you can go back and think about what did work and what didn't, and find out which hour is that hour for you where you're going to eat everything in sight. You don't want that. So like I said, for me, it's anywhere. I'm fine 16 hours, but I cannot pass 20 hours. Not happening. What to expect when you are fasting. So I already talked about figuring out your trigger hours. And if you don't have a binging problem, then that's really awesome. Then you don't need to worry about that. What to expect. You will feel very hungry at first. Your stomach is going to be growling, and it's going to growl really loud. Like, everyone's going to hear it. Everyone in the room is going to hear it. It's going to hurt a little bit at times. At least that's what it hurts me sometimes. And that's the time to drink water. When that starts happening, go drink some water. You're going to feel way better. Your stomach will quiet down for a little bit. Another thing that happens, not to everybody, but this happened to me. For the first 2 weeks, got major insomnia. I could not sleep because I had to it's basically you're retraining your body. You're retraining it's used to eating. Let's say if you're like me, you're a night owl and you ate at night, now you're not eating anymore. So it's like, it's getting hungry, and I had like major insomnia. Just know that it does not last forever. It's temporary. For me, it lasted 3 weeks, unfortunately. 3 weeks, I saw the sun set and sunrise, and it was just miserable, but I got through it. I didn't quit. As a matter of fact, on some days where I was up at 5 a.m., I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to the park and walk before I go to work because I'm awake, and why not? And that actually ended up helping me in the long run. Speaking of going to the park at 6 a.m. because I had major insomnia, I want to say that when I first started fasting, I did not work out. I eased into it slowly. But like I said, because I had insomnia, I was like, well, what can I do? So I'm like, fine, I'll go to the park and walk. And it wasn't like I was power walking. I was just walking really slow and just going about my day. I want to say that exercise is important, and especially when you're in your fasted state, because that's when you're in fat burning mode. So if you work out in that fat burning mode, you're now working even harder, and your body's gonna burn even more fat. And the best time to do that is definitely before you're going to break your fast. So if, let's say for me, I fast till 1 p.m. If I go work out at 11 to 12, let's say I work out for a whole hour, then at least I have 1 hour to wait till I eat again. And it's not so bad. You don't want to work out at 9 p.m. when you're in fasted state and then have to wait all the way till 1 o'clock the next day, because then you're just going to be so hungry, and you're going to more likely be tempted to just say, F it, I'm starving, I'm going to eat, because, you've worked out and it does give you that extra appetite and energy. So you will hit a plateau when you are fasting. It will come to a halt. Like, no matter what you do, you keep going at it, and you're not seeing that number drop, because you will see numbers drop at first, and then it's going to come to like a complete stop. And what do you do then? Well, you're waiting for what is called a swoosh, okay? So you continue doing it. You don't stop. You don't quit. Don't get discouraged. Keep going. Keep going, because what's happening is you have your fat cell. Your cell is filled with fat. and you've been fasting, let's say for a whole month, you've been doing intermittent fasting religiously, you're on top of it. Now your cell has released all the fat, but it has filled itself up with water. So now your body is maintaining all this water, and that is why you're not seeing any changes, right? Then one day these fat cells are so filled with water, they just collapse, and that's when you have the swoosh. That's when you have like that significant weight loss. And sometimes, even if that doesn't happen, I promise you the scale, you can't always go by the scale. Obviously, if it's telling you you weigh more, then it's something you need to change, but it's your clothes. You're gonna see, I lost more inches than weight. About a year ago, okay? Like I said, I've been doing this on and off for about a year and a half. I lost, while doing intermittent fasting and doing starch solution, I lost about 30 pounds, you guys. And that was an amazing time. Like, I had so much energy. I felt so good. My clothes were fitting me so nice. I was able to buy other clothes because I felt so good. And unfortunately, I fell off the wagon, and now I am trying to regain control and get back on to sticking to my 16 hours of fasting and 8 hours of eating, and with the help of starch solution. I just wanted to say, I'm not a doctor. I want to give the disclaimer. Before you try this, please consult your doctors, talk to them, let them know what you're going to do, and see if it's right for you. I just want to add, if you're a woman, just remember, when it's that time of the month, some of us get bloated, some of us put on weight. Just know that that is temporary. I wanted to add that before I wrap this all up, that you will see a little bit of fluctuating, but only around those times, and then it'll all work out. Just stick to it, don't give up, because there's so many great health benefits to intermittent fasting, and it's amazing. So if you enjoyed this video, please remember to hit like, subscribe, share, and of course hit the bell to get further notifications when I have new videos up. And please comment below if you decided to try one of the hours and what worked for you. I'd like to know if you've done it or you're new to it and decided to try it. Let me know in the comments. And also, if you want, let me know on Instagram. I'm very on there all the time, which is Plant-Based Sweetheart. Check me out there. Follow me there if you haven't already. Thank you, guys.